Me, I'm almost like I keep a same fight stance for everything I do, right? Sometimes I just switch. And this is me. I'm not telling you guys this is the answer. This is an answer that I adopted because maybe I'm not so smart. So this is my fight stance, right? I'm not too bladed. I'm not too square off. I kind of like ended this shift to one side we grip because in my judo I have to be moving and etc. when I grip. But initially I'm here. And I'm aware of my front legs, single legs, ankle picks, knee picks, and all that from wrestling. When I get closer to him, I'm very careful because of the ashi techniques, the foot sweeps, and everything that goes with that, leg reaps and etc. So, but I strike like this, right? I don't get too bladed because it's not my style. I'm more like Hawaiian Kempo style or kickboxing. But also I shoot like this. And if I'm using a blade, if the blade is on my right hand, I switch the stance. Otherwise, my blade is here or here. So I keep the same fight stance. So, having said that, I'm protecting my lapels because I don't want him to have overhead lapels. I don't want him to have lapels gripped here that he can, start working to start trying to upset my balance, initial balance break, kusushi, to then try to, get his feelings in and etc. So I like this hand here because it's midline, center line, and I can go for my stuff, right? I can start getting my grip set, whatever grip set I'm doing, or I can set up my takedowns, whatever I'm doing. So I'm here. I might get a little lower. So say what I want you guys doing is again shorter taps. So go midline. If I'm going midline, it's the same impression that she had. When I'm going here, it's kind of like his arm isn't stuck in front of me, but it's almost as if you're trying to get a lock here, which is not going to happen realistically. All right. Now, it's his option to bend his arm. Oh, my elbow, and then he wants to get out. He exposes himself, and I cross the arm in front of him. So he's going. I'm going here. So now, once you guys get here, what I want you guys to add a little bit will be shoulder with shoulder, head in. And as you make contact, you have a sudden drop so you can take the corner or take the back. If it goes high line, I did the other one tapping down, I'm going here. So it's a short circle pass to get my arm drag. And I don't want to have an arm in front of me. I want this arm to either bend this way, or I want this arm to go past me. Because now I have the flank open to go around. So if it's going again and I'm going here, I made that contact and I have that sudden, so it can go to the back. Make sense? This is just one. And what we're gonna add is you're gonna start with the two grips, one grip. And however you guys learn from your coach how to break grips on the lapel, I tend to weaken the thumb. And I go one, once I have that, I cut the corner. Make sense? If he has my hand, and I'm here, I do the same thing. I don't break this grip. I rotate to outside. And sometimes the guy doesn't even realize I'm here. I just got this, and I do the same thing. I don't even break the grip to go for it.
I realize.
Make sense? So, you got my hand, you got a good hip grip. As I go outside, and his hand is getting trapped here. I don't know if you guys can see it. And I can just keep working. And now I'm heavy. He should feel my weight. I need to make sure that I'm upsetting his balance the whole time. This is not how we're going to take him down, but we might work back attacks a lot in the seminar. Cool? All right, so just tied up that with a little, just drop a little bit as you're turning. Shorter circles, right? I don't want to go like too wide open. It's not Aikido. So it's just going a little lower. Tap down, tap up. Go for your arm drags. If Sensei has anything to add, more than welcome.
That's
it. So, 1 point. But literally, break the grip, go for it. All right, just simplifying Of course, there are more details, but let's get that because we need to go to the ground because it's a Jiu-Jitsu, right? Let's go. And as I break this, right, and I go from arm drag, so I'm gonna do slow. I take the step, I drag it, and I make him trip over a low fence. Right? And worst case scenario, wrestlers jump over, and I go for the leg, single leg, and I catch the far end. So it's my number one throw. And I force it, meaning that I really chase it, or I do it as a counter when, you know, people are not tracking that much.
Okay.
So again, I break off from judo to switch to wrestling, or I break from wrestling and switch to judo. Because that's the beauty of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that we can blend those things. You guys go short circles to go and take up the space and pull him, or to go under and bring him. And if anybody wants to safely try to throw slowly, be mindful of your surroundings. You can do just take this step out. So see how I almost go parallel to him, but as I'm doing that, I'm lowering my stance and I'm making him trip. Doesn't work if I go at the speed.
Yeah. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
It sets up for that single leg that you just talked
Yeah,
about.
so
Yeah.
because I come up with a single leg.
Okay.
Cool. All right, let's go. There's a reason why I want to be on my feet yet. I want to force some reactions. Just again, for who haven't, maybe I bet you guys all heard that, but Jiu-Jitsu at some point is a math game. Like, you know, I want to have as much control as possible. Right now, he's probably winning. Make sense? Because he has 2 points of contact and I have 0. You know, I have my feet that I can work on, move. But if I start moving without touching him and he, you know, don't grab me, he can follow me very easy, right? If I go to my right, he hooks my left leg. So he doesn't need to do anything. So if I move to my left, he hooks my right. So what I mean is, this is full open guard, and there are many things I can do to him here. I can go back with the ankle lock, with the heel hooks, leg attacks, but he's aware. So if I go try to do this, he's gonna retreat and hide, or recover, put it on his chest, he's gonna hide. But this is extremely important. Just so you guys know, for self-defense, you will never stand up from where he is. Never. You should never try to push me to get up. He tries to push me, right? Instead, he recovers. Just this self-defense. Stupid common thing. He waits for me to try to get closer, and he let his legs get loaded with my weight, and now he push me hard. Look how far back, and then he can do a technical stand-up. He recovers, spear elbow, double blocks. Let me feel like I can go for it. Get the weight and push me. But that's like Jiu-Jitsu self-defense. It's not real. It's not real Jiu-Jitsu. The gods of Jiu-Jitsu just like gonna burn me. No, it is real Jiu-Jitsu, but you guys understand, because I've done this like so many times. MMA guys, I push from here. He wants to get up, push from here. I'm like, cool. You know, come back with a boom. You know, usually 1-2 counts. All right, so anyway, we're gonna do a quick exercise, like 1 minute each. I move to my right, he hooks my left. I move to my left, he hooks my right. I move back, he sits up. I charge at him. What's gonna reach me first, his arms or his legs? If I'm getting him legs, right? So he could upset my stance, like boom, push, or he goes back to bracing, or he frames. Make sense? So we're gonna play just this quick thing. I'm here, I move to my right, he hooks. Sometimes you don't even need to hook. What you need to do is brace well and rotate your pelvis a little bit up so you don't keep your belt on the ground, just like that, right? He still gives me 2 options to pass. But when he hooks, he kind of like make me think a little bit. So if he hooks one side, right, and I'm going this way, if I switch, he goes here. If I switch, it goes here. Now, it will create a situation where I need to grab this dude. And then what happened when I did that? I gave him my arms. And then from here, classic Sensei Lee can say Tomonagi from there. Boom. Kind of like, right? You do overhead sweeps. Makes sense? Scoot under and go for it. Simple, but it creates this natural skill, which is sensitivity. So anyways, let me go back to it. So I'm here, gonna jam his leg and make this sweeper. What I wanna do now is I like to go backhand, because backhand works, you know, many guys will do hip forward, two hands, I'm handling his leg to the gods of Jiu-Jitsu, and then bring around. Or I like backhand a lot, just because if he grabs my ankle, he can kick that way. Not like him, but you know, my kick. So I go here, and I weave, I bring his leg around, and I like to pin his leg first, so I can make my decision. But remember, I want to choke him, and I want to take his back. So that's why one of the reasons why I brought him here. And I shut down his hip. It's really hard for him to hip skate, because I can grab anything here and lock with my elbow, but not only with my knee. So when I'm finishing here, you can see that I'm squeezing this. I'm not crushing his bottom leg. He's not feeling any pain on his leg, because my foot is behind him. I don't know if you guys can see it. Sorry, he's not flexing. I'm not. But my knee's here, so his leg is just getting trapped by the curve here on my foot and my ankle. And of course, it's gonna be here, because it's just gonna kick out, so I pick up the space. So it's my #1 combatives or MMA. If I took somebody down here, of course I can do this, boom, right? And we can do that pass the same way if you guys wanna go here, but you have to make sure that you exaggerate your hip forward. You really have to exaggerate, because there's no fitting here. Now I'm curved versus like here. I don't know what's called, what's the,
Concave, convex.
yeah, I don't know which is which.
Convex is expanded, concave is a cave.
So I want to be convex. Thank you. I skipped my physics class.
It's the only time I was paying attention.
Nice, concave.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Right. Concavo and convex. Alright, so I want to be here. I like to do this for Jiu-Jitsu. And I still could swing this, boom, boom, right? Throw it good, boom. And actually that's what I do combatives for Christine.
Accidental elbows.
No, please don't do this in
Our favorite word is
I
accident.
mean, do that in combatives or MMA. Because in MMA, instead of me being here because of up kicks, right? I go here. Now I do always 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. Always, always. Almost like Kung Fu style. But honestly, that's what. But we're doing Jiu-Jitsu, so. So I'm going just here, and I shuffle. And I want to shuffle because I want to prepare my back kick. So that's why I'm stopping here. I'm not rushing. But we're going to counter this a little bit if you rush. Because I'm giving you guys top and bottom counter. But remember, you want to finish the story with a good choke. Okay, so last time, forward. I could, if you feel like this is too anchored, I cup my hand clear, and I'm going here. And if you want to be more detailed, you squat down and trap the knee and the shin together, right? So I can shuffle, and he's not retreating this, bringing this back to the chest. So I'm here. Make sense? Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Go again.
Alright, so I got my guard pass from there, and I managed to get him here. Another thing is I put a brake behind his back. So now this arm, I'm here, I could be, playing with his elbow. This pressure, this arm is putting pressure under the jawline right there, and I'm putting pressure so I can pommel and get to this. Make sense? Now I want to start taking the back. So as I'm driving and I'm doing this, right? So first of all, I'm gonna have to disconnect a little bit and open the space between his elbow and his knee, right? So I can step. Once I step, I reset and go back to here, head with head, and I'm gonna bring him, and I'm gonna get to here. So let me think about how can I, sorry, good?
There you go.
Let me try sideways like this. So remember, we did the back. Here, I'm here. And then he's like, this is before I even roll out, right? I'm setting, and see how I'm using my whole body, right? So my side, this is feeding right here. Now I'm like this, and I put in pressure. If I try to get my foot over, it's gonna be tricky. It blocks it. So I have to bring this arm. So I'm doing this first. So I step, and I can even like push, step, reset, head down. Now I'm gonna bring him by my forearm. And as it finish here, I can trap the arm under the jaw, and I'm gonna caterpillar my hand up to here until I can get opposite lapel. When I get the opposite lapel, I pull his head down. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. I move my wrist up. I didn't even finish the choke. My head is against his head and pushing his head against my hand. Not yet. I'm gonna try to go for this. I'm gonna release a little bit. So see how I'm here? Guys, this is gold in this, right? My wrist goes up and out, and my elbow drops. That's what nobody teaches. Just a few people teach just this, is this. But this lapel brings his head forward towards my choke, right? So if I'm here, I'm going here, wrist up, elbow down, head, now I can go here. If I need to, I stretch him out. If I need to, I lock here, sorry. If I need to, all right?
I know how to get out of this one.
All right, let's get the back first. So he got voluntold. He said, like, you know, what I want you guys to do is this. I want you guys to here, be mindful of your hooks. You don't cross your feet here because it can get you. So I want you guys, thumb as a guide slides up, and it's like this, right? It's me, like silly stuff I go here. He feels my whole contact on my wrist, right? Now I'm going here, my head is to the side, I switch. Why am I switching the head to the other side? Because I'm pushing the head against the wrist. Make sense? No gaps. A lot of people do here, which is a nicer way. But I just met Jay. He's still gonna be my friend after. Then I move my wrist up. I pull this down. Okay? Pull this down. Move my wrist up. And bring my elbow down. I didn't even squeeze yet. I swear.
No, he didn't. Yeah, no, that's good.
So it's here, here. Look, wrist up and cast it. Like imagine like I'm casting a fish rod or opening this. I don't know. I don't open whatever fish, right? People teach this way. I don't know why. I think it's like why, like. But again, it's like different ways to do it. I don't understand, but I'm not crapping on anybody's technique. So I'm right here. I use this hand to pull his head forward. So what I'm doing is bringing his head towards the choke. You guys agree?
Yes.
See, he can tell that I'm bothering him with my head behind. Elbow goes up, wrist goes up, wrist goes out, and this elbow pushes his collarbone down. Sorry. Good?
Couple more times.
At least 3.
Well, you guys promised $20 every time I choke. Now, if we sideways and I have this arm up, right, we're here, and I'm tired. I'm not gonna move. I still move this wrist up. I still put this down, but I'm not using my arms. He can tell you I'm not using my arms, but I do this.
He went convex, not concave.
Right. Yeah. So first of all, I just wrote down here so I don't lose track. And then many things I already mentioned. So first of all, like, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor. I hope you guys had a good time. Again, it's an honor. It's a life. How can I say? I'm blessed to be able to do what I love. Sometimes I don't love that. No, but seriously, I'm blessed to be able to teach and do what I love, and at the same time being around, you know, high-level martial artists, legends, and people like, you know, Master Terry, because I respect all lineages in martial arts, and there's so many great grandmasters like Superfoot and so many others like Joe Louis that you guys always connected, and my mentor Walt Isaac and his father, so many guys like the Gracies, you know, we can keep naming like great martial artists. We have to think like where this all came from. We have to think about the history behind and how this, in a different way, was used to fight other people, to stay alive, to defend their homes, their families, their countries. And I'm talking about very ancient. So that's why we have to keep the traditional martial arts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in Jiu-Jitsu. Judo, of course. Judo is great because they keep the tradition even better sometimes. So I really appreciate that. And again, it's an honor to have you guys part of our team. A team that is growing. We're not too commercial, or we're not commercial at all as far as like, but now we're getting better because, you know, we need to have some better social media and all of that. So so we're getting better at that to promote, you know. But I'm very happy to be involved with you guys and be involved with other people that also do a lot to help our country, help you know, people that fight for us, to help veterans. I think Jiu-Jitsu has a huge component to help veterans and people with PTSD, people that have suffered abuse. There's so many things, depression. If we can build the strong communities and give it back, because that's the part of being martial artists. It's not just tying a belt, wearing a gi, doing moves. And, you know, martial artists, we have to give back to our community. We do that a lot. We do food drives, we do fundraisers. And I know you guys do as well, so it's pretty cool. And so I don't lose track. Yeah, so BJJ is hard, so persistence is key, right? I said 2% maybe get them to their black belts. I have piles and piles of waivers, and many people quit for many different reasons. But if it's not a financial reason, it's not a job reason, and etc., it's just your ego. I'll say, like, fight your ego every day to come here and have the humbleness to see I don't have all the answers. When I don't have an answer, I'm honest and I tell my students, like, I don't have this answer right now. I'm gonna bring it, I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna look for it. But it's important to keep persisting. And same thing for me, you know, because many times I thought about, not many times, maybe at least a couple times I thought about quitting for other reasons, because of divorce, because of this, because life was changing. And then, you know, didn't divorce from her. But yeah, so, but Jiu-Jitsu kept me, or martial arts, let's say, you know, so let's say martial arts. And because, again, we have to when we get here, live the moment, focus in what you're doing, try to pay attention to everything that's going on, to your different partners, how everybody feels differently, texture of your gi. Focus on the small little things, because every focus that you put on the mats, it's a break that you're having from life, from reality, from this madness that, you know, everything has been becoming. And the mats should be, this is a neutral place. There's so many students tell me like, man, I love coming here because life is normal here. I mean, life is normal, right? There's nobody fighting anybody. There's like no social media craziness. So there's so many amazing benefits you guys already know. So keep doing your martial arts. That's like one of the best things that we can do to strengthen our society, you know. So persistence is definitely key. And keep your ego checked. When I say ego, people say like no ego. Like no, you need to have some ego. It's a lie. When people say like no ego, I'm like why? I mean, you have to have some good ego. So I always tell everybody when I go compete, since I'm a white belt, I walk through, say I walk by the podium, I look at the podium and I visualize myself in the first place. Every single time. I won the gold medal. I'm not gonna lie. I don't compete to have fun. Somebody put a good video, I think it was Homulo Bahal, talking about that. I always talked about that when Sylvan on my team is like, don't go to competition to have fun. Go to win. Go to win and have fun in the process, but you go to win. And if you don't lose, if you don't win, you still don't see it as like a bad experience. It's just like, you know, we are just two people competing, like 50% chance that you win. The other 50%, like, come on, you know? So winning or losing, that's the ego that you need to check. You cannot win and like, I got this, I'm the best, you know, or lose and throw a tantrum like, you know, find excuses and blame your team and blame your coach and blame your gi and blame your underwear and blame what you ate the night before and blame everything, blame the weather. No, just like embrace failure always, and then we move on. So that's the ego that we have to have. A good ego. Aim high. Aim. Right now you have a mission. All of you have a mission. What is your mission right now?
The choke.
The choke? That's a good one. That's your goal. That's your goal. What is your mission? Everybody's mission.
Black belt.
Black belt. That's your mission. That's your first mission. But to get to your mission, you have to achieve many goals. And there are many internal battles, external battles. But mission is get your black belt. And set your goals, your short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals to achieve that black belt. It's the only time. We cannot have goals that are so far away that we can never achieve. But we have to have, what is my shortest goal? I'm gonna try to go home and write down this sequence. That's one goal. Second goal, show up here Monday or Tuesday. Another goal is just like, train again those techniques. Ask your coach what you need to do. Hey, what do you feel I need to do to, you know, get better at this and that? Those are smaller goals. Set those smaller goals, and then you have, you know, your next goal should be blue belts and purple belts and black belts, and, right? Brown belts, no, yeah, no, yeah, you know, one day. Make sense? Trust your coach in the process. Whatever Art is bringing, right? He knows what you guys need. People are like, oh, I think we should be doing more of this. Trust your coach and trust the process. Because, you know, we get overwhelmed with students sending like YouTube videos. I watch YouTube, trust me. I watch some Instagram reels. I like to get ideas. What?
So don't send YouTube videos.
Yeah, but just don't send to your coach. No, it's fine. You need to get inspiration and see what other people are doing. But maybe you're not ready yet for that, you know. Maybe you need to listen to your coach and trust what he has been planning. I send weekly a curriculum to all the schools, but I don't know what each school needs individually. So my curriculum, they have the templates for blue, purple, what I ask for brown and black. But it's my suggestion based on what I've been seeing at my school. But I have over 280 students, and I've been teaching for 19 years. So I have some crazy fundamentals class that I have 7, 9 black belts. You saw maybe like 3.
We had 7 there.
Yeah, and it's a fundamentals class, and we have brand new white belts. right? So I'm in a different pace, but he might say, this thing that Luigi's saying is too much. My guys need something else. Trust your coach, trust the process. Try to be short here. I said that already, find inspiration in your teammates, but don't see them as your competition, right? You are your own competition. The very burned out saying you need to be better than yourself was yesterday, or yesterday. And lastly, BJJ is 1-2, but not the only two, right? I've been around people that say like, I have this anti-grappling thing, I do this and that. What if I have the anti-grappling thing, but I also have the grappling thing, and I can strike, and I can wrestle, I can throw people, and I can fight them on the ground? Or if I understand that the wall and the ground are very similar, they're just in a different plane. So if I pin you against the wall, you will have to have the same hipscapes, right? Then if I pin you against the ground, but we never train against the wall, unless you're a fighter, MMA fighter. But it's important to know everything, right? If you guys have a great, amazing kickboxing program, test yourself in different water, at least like you know that if something happens, your hands are not going to be down. Your stance is not going to be messed up. You're going to adapt some hybrid stance from very traditional kickboxing to very traditional jiu-jitsu and get something in between, and you understand what is getting thrown at you. So this is my opinion, is like, maybe get really good at BJJ, but never look down at any other style and any other team, any other, that's not what we do. That's definitely not what we do. I'm very realistic. I teach people that needs to know grappling, but they needs to sometimes know grappling so they can stay on their feet. They can fight themselves out of the groundwork, and they can go whatever, they can survive on the ground. Some people, they need to pin people on the ground. Sometimes we fight and we grapple inside vehicles, and it's a great thing, especially for women.